Hey everyone, Vanessa here with Visalia Talks, your local talk show that brings you everything you need to know from right here in your own community. Today we have with us Gilbert Rios. How are you, Gilbert?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome. So you have a business coaching for nutrition. It is Resilient Responder Coaching.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the business was actually Ravane training 4 years ago. I got into coaching. I've been coaching since I was 16, my first paid client. So I've been coaching about 15, 16 years now. And back in 2020, I started it kind of going a little bit more focused onto it and like trying to create a business out of it. And so it was Ravane training back then in 2020. I was still a cop at the time as well. So it was kind of like my side thing. And then I went going full time with it 2 years later. And then just recently, I just did a full rebrand. So now it's Resilient Responder Coaching. And it's the type of people we help has kind of like the marketing of it kind of changed, but we still help within the same process itself.
Right. So what type of coaching is it?
So it's pretty much online nutrition and fitness coaching. The biggest thing is just helping people lose weight without restricted dieting. So teaching them how to do without all the fad diets and the extreme dieting and no low carb, low fat, trying to lose weight as fast as possible.
It's more like a lifestyle change rather than.
Yes, because I said as long as I've been coaching, one thing I realized, and I was the bad coach 15, 16 years ago, like I focus on trying to get people what they wanted then rather than what they needed long term.
For life, yeah.
So they will come to me, I'll get them to lose weight in 12 weeks, and then they would be happy, take a picture, and then 2 months later they're back to where they were.
Yes.
So. And so after being a coach for so long and wanting to always better myself, and trying to figure out how can I get these people to get the results that they want long term, like what they really want,
results, yeah.
and stop wasting their money. Then I came up with my method and then focused on more just like long term sustainability rather than short term what they wanted.
So. Nice. And so this program is online?
Yes.
Yeah. So is it like a weekly? You send them weekly things to do, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we had a coaching app. Everything is done through the coaching app itself. So all your workouts can be put into the coaching app. All the nutrition coaching is done within the coaching app. All the communication. We have a resource center as well, which gives you a bunch of different videos and how-tos and cheat sheets and guides and whatnot. Wow. And then we do have a community forum with everyone who's a client in there as well. But as far as the coaching method itself, though, it's a whole process in itself. It's not just like come into coaching, we just give you check-ins and whatnot. It's a whole process and method to it that comes with the reason why we have the success that we do.
Nice. I love that. That's really cool. So if someone wants to join your program, how would they get a hold of you?
They could I gave you a phone number, so they could just text that number, and they'll pretty much I can get them in and start getting them. Pretty much there is a vetting process to go into my coaching method. I don't just take on every client. Like I said,
you want the serious people ready for a change, a lifestyle change?
Well, that too, but mainly the thing is the method that I created is only helps a certain type of person. So people with metabolic issues, like metabolism issues. And so if they're coming to me like, hey, I want to gain 5 pounds or 10 pounds to be stronger, I'm the wrong coach for you.
Okay.
If I want to be, again, it's more focused on people wanting to lose at least 15 pounds minimum to 35 plus pounds. We had someone who we just posted who lost 100 pounds with us already. Wow. They started at 405 pounds. Now they're already down 100 pounds and they still want to get down even more. But yeah, so it's mainly focused on that. So if they're coming to me with a different type of goal, I'm just the wrong coach.
I want to lift weights to, join a competition or whatever. That's not what you're doing.
No. So I do have a competitor team, but I don't, because I've been around bodybuilding for a while as well, and I competed myself multiple times as well. So I do have a competitor team, but I don't really market it too much because it's just something I do for fun.
Okay.
So I'm not focused on like trying to bring as much people as possible. I rather focus on my people who, again, like people I'm actually going to change their lives. The people who want to compete, they come to me regardless because it's just they know who I am. Yeah. I've been in the area, and then obviously my clients speak for themselves. So it's like they just come and they're gonna reach out regardless because they want to compete. People here, I feel like the clients that we take on with this, like the long-term stuff, is like they have to kind of believe it and see it, and they've already been through so much before, and so kind of hurt from the past of what they've done in the past. So it's like it's gonna take them a while to kind of come through the coaching process, which is understandable. That trust factor, but like I said, with competitors, it's super easy to not so much, again, like they're not changing their life long term, they're just changing their life for that 4 months for that prep, so it's not I don't really want to focus on being a prep coach. I said I've been doing it for a while, but I'd rather just that stuff will come. But as far as the marketing purpose, and all my focus would mostly be on this coaching right here,
the weight loss.
Yes.
the weight loss coaching. I love that. And there's a lot of people I know. Well, I don't want to call her out, but I know someone who's on a little bit of a struggle and trying this and trying that, and it really does need a lot of different aspects in your life that need a little bit of changes to make it all work together.
Yes.
So yeah, that's cool that you're helping them do that. And you said with nutrition as well. So you're helping them with eating right as well.
Yes. So my biggest thing is not focus on the workout part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we have different effective habits that we focus on within our coaching method, but I'm a big person I'm nothing against personal trainers, and I think personal trainers are great, especially in my space of like competitors, like doing that in-person stuff. But as far as like people who just want to lose the weight, who are very unhappy, they tried everything in the past, nothing really works. They have personal trainers, they still look the same way they did 3 years ago with them. They just go there just for literally the environment, which is great. But if they want that success with weight loss and finally be, happy with themselves and confident in their own skin and in their own clothes, like they're gonna need a change, not just so much focus like I get to go see this person and just be in that environment for that 45 minutes or that hour. It's not gonna change.
And then they go home and do the same.
Yes, because a personal trainer, like I said, like their job is to personal train. They're teaching how to be your best in the gym and the workouts itself and whatnot, like how to work out better, right? Yes. Personal trainer. I'm a nutrition and fitness coach. My biggest thing is teaching how to make this result happen, not to make you better in the gym. Yeah. So my focus is like whether you go to strength yoga, whether you do my workouts or in the app itself that gives you like video examples and whatnot, or whether you go to CrossFit, whether you go to the gym on your own, that's not going to make a difference in my process. The guy who lost 100 pounds, he does little small workouts for 20 minutes at a time in his home. So it's not focused on this is the best workout for this. There's no best workout. It's just all about just making the activity happen. Like you just have to have some kind of resistance, do the activity, whether it's 3 times a week or 5 times a week, whatever works best for you and your schedule, because everyone's different. Yeah. But it's just the like I said, our four-phase method that makes it happen, and the nutrition coaching aspect that's attached to it. So like I said, I'm not big on the workouts itself. Like I'll give you workouts you're going to enjoy, because the workouts I like you might not like. Yeah. Again, so like I said, the client that we have who's 100 pounds, he doesn't even go to the gym. Yeah. So he just does stuff that's his body weight stuff. We have clients who go to Pilates. I have clients who go to, like I said, yoga, like strength yoga. So like, would I do that? No. But again, it's not about that. It's about what's going to work best for them. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I love that. So that's really cool. And so anyone who wants to lose weight, right, come to you with the issues and all of that. I know you have a book out.
Yes.
Yes. And what's your book all about?
So the book is focused on just mental health for first responders, pretty much. Like I said, I was a cop for 6 years. I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. So I created the book several years ago. So it's just focused on the mental health aspect of it, but mostly just breaking the stigma and kind of like telling my own story with breaking my own stigma with mental health, and then kind of giving back to show the people in law enforcement or just first responders, whether it's firemen, whether it's EMS, whether it's just people in that area, can kind of help them in that sense too.
The stigma, you say the stigma. What's the stigma? Is it like mental health, like breaking the stigma as in take care of your mental health? Like let's not just pretend everybody's okay?
No, the more the stigma of like I ain't gonna go seek help.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I don't want to seek help.
Yeah. So yeah, because it pretty much just stemmed from 3 different events in my life that happened. And one of the events was pretty much my dad was a correctional officer at the time, and his partner was hurt at work at the prison. And so when I did a body removal, he was actually the person I did the body removal for at work. As a deputy sheriff's coroner, we do all the body removals of people who died in the county. So I was called. He was the person that was there, and then so it kind of was like obviously I wasn't expecting that, right. And I just had dinner with him not too long before that, and then against my dad's work partner. Yeah. So I would see him often. So just to see him there, I was kind of in shock. And then from there was my officer-involved shooting that happened several months after. And then after that was my suicide of my friend, who actually was the reason why I was in law enforcement in the first place. So those 3 different events back to back to back. It took me for that 3rd event to finally seek help. But even then, I didn't even want to seek help. So it actually took 2 people to actually tell me, like, you're going to go talk with someone. I was like, no. Because being the Marine I was, and coming up in that sense, I was like, that's just weak. And so when I took those 2 people who, one who I looked really up to in law enforcement, the other one who I looked up to him in law enforcement well, but he's also special forces in the Marine Corps as well. So seeing him and him saying that, hey, I talked with someone, like, it's fine. So I was like, all right, so he's willing to do it, and he's telling me maybe I should do it. Like, and it wasn't so much like, I was having issues at work, it was more like I was just more quiet and just like
Mm-hmm.
really keeping to myself. But what we know is that people who do that, you just tend to bottle up your feelings.
Right.
It'll just get bigger over time. So
Mm-hmm.
whether who knows where I'll be right now if that built over time over the last
Yes.
all these years, over the last 5 years. So it's like they don't want obviously they don't want to see that because they just have been doing that themselves and talking. So it's like all right, so I'll go talk. And even when I talked with the therapist at that time, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is
Yeah.
dumb. But then when I finally had that breakthrough with her, I was like, oh, this is actually really good stuff.
Yeah.
And so I actually started a podcast helping out in that sense called the Fit for Duty podcast. We were doing that, and my biggest mission was like, if it at least helps one person, then that's good. And we're getting messages back that it was. And then so I was like, I was just trying to think of how else can I help
Mm-hmm.
these people in this community. And so I was like, well, a book. So I ended up writing a book. It took quite a while, but it ended
Yeah.
up getting done. And yeah, so that's how the book kind of came about.
Congratulations. That's really powerful. Mental health is very important. It's and there's a lot of people, so that is a stigma, and that's good that you're talking about breaking that stigma of not wanting to go for help, because so many people think so terribly about going to therapy. Like
Hmm.
there's something wrong with me, or whatever it is that they think, and it's so healing and helpful, and it is, therapy is really good, and I will put that out. My when my daughter's in therapy, she's 12, and I feel like this needs to be a normal thing. Like, it's, if I was put in therapy at a younger age, oh gosh, all of the, I there would be so much more, understanding and everything through life, and not having to figure out at such an, in our 20s, 30s, 40s, figuring things out in about ourselves and our brain that we could have figured out a long time before. So it's really good that you're out there trying to trying to get people to be okay with getting help. Because
Appreciate it.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting help. We all need it. We've all got things, right, that we
Hmm.
can have some help dealing with, that'll just heal us inside,
Exactly.
make us all better.
And one thing I thought about too was there's so many people in that community when I was in law enforcement and the military was you have so many people pushing against it, and they're trying like they're it's not like that's their mission, but it's just more like they don't believe in it, and they're trying to stray away people from wanting to go talk with someone and making saying that it's weak and saying that you shouldn't, but they have their own problems they're dealing with, which is why we have a problem with veterans killing themselves. And so it's if that's an issue, why are we still trying to push it away? People calling people weak and whatnot, and especially in law enforcement too, it's the same way. We had just here locally, I don't know if you know, but we have cops in the last 2 years kill themselves in their patrol car
Oh,
while on
I
duty
did
while
not
they're
know.
working. Yeah, I think we've had two already. One at
Mm.
Tulare PD, I believe, and then one somewhere else locally too. And so it's like people don't realize that that is happening. And then just in LA County, I think it was last year, I think 5 or 6 of them had killed
Oh,
themselves. So it's
yeah.
like it's happening everywhere, but we still have people pushing against this. So at least if there's people like me or anyone else who could kind of push back towards that, at least to kind of help in a sense, because I feel like you would feel alone. Because when I was going through it, it wasn't so much that I was thinking I was alone. It was more just thinking like I don't need it. But
Yep.
there was no one. I didn't really hear no one really pushing for it.
For it,
So I
yeah.
was like, oh, I'll just go on with my day. Because that first event happened in back in 2018. So it went, it took over almost a year to kind of get to that where I was at then. So, because again, I wasn't really focused on that. I was like, I'm fine. I'm gonna go to work and it's
Yeah,
fine.
you didn't even realize that you were bothered, that you were,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that you were traumatized. It's big, and you say, and it's on such a grand scale of how important therapy is and getting help is. Because I will share the story only because you did bring up the veteran thing. Um, I'm a survivor to suicide, from the army, trying to get therapy for for him, and it wasn't available in Korea, and
Hmm.
they said that we'd have to wait until coming back to the states where it's available. And no, there. I mean, it came back in a box. So it's very important, not only on our level of, hey, let's get help, but on the grander scale of things, hey, help your people,
Hmm.
help your first responders, help your service members, allow them that help to when they do need it as well. Because I mean, I would have never. not many people think or can even imagine how that help's not even available to a lot of our service members.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, it's just the big stigma of it. And one thing too, one thing I noticed a lot too, because whenever I would be around other coworkers or at certain events, whether it was the military or law enforcement, was one thing that always bothered me was that you would have the people who would talk the way they do at work, but then you get when they're drinking and they're drunk, they would just like kind of like spill and throw up all their feelings,
Yeah.
and you realize like, oh, that's how they really feel inside. But then when they're sober, they're back to being, trying to be hard. And I get it. I had that shell of like not letting emotions out, letting emotions in, and I was that person too. Um, Not the whole emotional thing of getting drunken, but just more like keeping it in. So like when
Yeah.
you see those people who are kind of pushing away from it, but then you hear them when they're drunk, and it's like, ah. So
Yeah.
you do feel that way too, but you just don't want to
You don't
accept
want to
it
let anyone.
because
Yeah.
the stigma is
Yes.
there.
You don't want to accept it.
Mhm.
Yeah. You need to be okay. You need to be good. I'm strong. I'm tough.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing can get me down.
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, anything, we're so fragile. No matter who we are on the exterior, we're so fragile on the inside. So I love that you're doing this. Congratulations,
Thank
Gilbert.
you, thank you.
Yes. Anything else that you want to say to the community before we go?
Yeah, so pretty much, I mean, you can find me on Instagram at Gilbert_fitness coach. I do have, I said, the podcast, Fit for Duty podcast, which can be found anywhere that we do podcasts at.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a YouTube that says Gilbert Rios the third. And then I have, yeah, if you need coaching, just text that number and then we'll get
Yes.
you right into coaching.
Yeah.
And the
Get
book's
that
on
weight
Amazon
loss down.
too.
Yes. What's
So
the book called?
Breaking the Blue Wall.
Breaking the Blue Wall. Pick it up
Mhm.
on Amazon, guys. I'm interested in reading that as well.
Yeah, only 99 pages. So everyone who's, I don't like long books. I don't want to
Yeah.
write a long book. So everyone who's read it, they said they loved it and they read it within that one day. And it
Oh,
only took
nice.
them a couple hours. So
Ooh, so it's a page turner then. You don't want to put it down. If someone's reading a book in one day, that means you're not wanting to put it down.
that's
Yeah.
the feedback I got. So that's what I was hearing. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they said like they liked it how it wasn't long and trying to be drawn out. Just the purpose
Yeah.
of being drawn out. It was just straight to the point and explain and
Yeah.
then done. So.
Cool. Yeah, check it out, guys. Breaking the Blue Wall. And then Resilient Responder Coaching online.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming in, Gilbert.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll see you soon.